It is Saturday night. Welcome to the Jonathan Ross Show. Now, did you see those topless pictures, ladies and gentlemen? I'm shocked and saddened. Why would any magazine want to print paparazzi pictures of one of our national treasures on holiday, relaxing in a private place topless? I'm outraged. I'm so outraged, I'm going to show them to you now, so... if you haven't seen them, press record. Here, look at this. Now, you see... poor Simon, his moobs exposed to the world. Reminds me of that song, Moobs Like Jagger. Simon was understandably upset, as were we all. This was him the next day. You see, he got the message. Meanwhile, William and Kate have been touring the Pacific island of Tuvalu, where they've been joining in the local entertainment. Look at this. We had to stop it there. William's dancing got so embarrassing, Kate took her top off to distract everyone's attention. The only thing she could do. The nation's gardeners... You're going to like this. The nation's gardeners are living in fear because we have been invaded by giant Spanish slugs, OK? Nothing to do with Julio Iglesias. Here's a British slug. See, there's a traditional garden slug, OK? And here's the giant Spanish species that people are worried about. And if you still can't tell the difference if you've got them in your garden, you just go up to it and say to the slug, "Hola, slugas, ¿cómo estás?" If it replies, "Estoy muy bien, gracias," smack it on the head with a shovel. The world's first beauty contest for goldfish has been held in China, and here's the winner. Lovely, yeah. That's the swimwear round, obviously. She told judges she wants to travel the world and meet people. She wants to travel the world and meet people. She wants to travel the world and meet people. And one day she will travel the world. Well, she'll get as far as the coast, anyway. We've got a packed show for you tonight, including, as you know already, music from the fantastic Fun, ladies and gentlemen. There they are.
So we set the world on fire. We can burn brighter than the sun.
Fun. That's the summer anthem right there. Thank you, gentlemen. We'll be seeing them later. They're doing a number live for us at the end of the show. Now, my first guest tonight is one of our greatest actors. I'm thrilled he's here. It's a rare treat. He doesn't often do shows like this. It is Sir Michael Gambon, ladies and gentlemen. Sir Michael Gambon. I'm thrilled. I'm very excited. Of course, so many fine performances over the years, but recently he has a whole new fan base thanks to his work in the Harry Potter movies. And as Dumbledore, I believe, perhaps you can confirm this, Michael had a secret pouch in his cloak to keep his cigarettes. Is that right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So he could pop out for a quick Hufflepuff every now and then. Michael Gambon, ladies and gentlemen. He'll be on the show in just a minute. We also have joining us one of Britain's finest comedians, John Bishop. John Bishop. Incredible achievement for Sport Relief in February this year. Tell me if I get this right. You cycled, rode, and you ran. It was 295 miles from Paris back here to London?
Yeah.
Incredible. Incredible.
I also had a secret pouch in my running shorts for my fags as well.
You know, but it's a shame because it was only when you got back someone told you about Eurostar, wasn't it? Because you could have just... ladies and gentlemen, I'm thrilled it's John Bishop. He's on the show, as I said. Thank you, John. See you in a minute. And... my next guest is a young British actress taking Hollywood by storm. It is the fabulous, the talented Emily Blunt. The lovely Emily Blunt. You might have seen Emily recently in Gulliver's Travels, where she played a Lilliputian. You should talk to John about that, because he's a Lilliputian. Emily Blunt, ladies and gentlemen, she's on the show. And we have more. My final guest this evening is the superstar DJ David Guetta. Hey, David, how's it going? Looking good. He's a French gentleman. David is a multi-platinum, two-time Grammy-winning artist, producer and DJ. And he says that a guaranteed track to save a flagging party, is this right, is Smack My Bitch Up?
Are you speaking to me?
What is the French for Smack My Bitch Up?
It would be... donner une fessée, which is like...
Give a little tap to.
Yeah.
Emily, if you want to move over, you can just go over the other side there, that's fine. David Guetta, ladies and gentlemen, there he is. Let's get my first guest out. He's one of the nation's top stand-up comedians. It is the fabulous Mr. John Bishop, ladies and gentlemen. Here he is. Looking good.
What was brilliant about that is after you'd done all that messing about, David Kettle went home and went, "Where are you from?"
I wonder, he's probably never been to Liverpool. David, you ever been to Liverpool?
Yes, this is where I don't understand no one. Like, it is really... That's why I found, like, I think I recognize this accent. It was that time when I went to a city where I could not understand anybody.
The cliché Liverpudlian thing is, calm down, calm down. That's the cliché thing, isn't it? Does anyone ever go, calm down, ever say that in Liverpool?
No one has ever said that in Liverpool. In the same way, David's not wearing a beret with onions round his neck.
Well, it's only because we asked him not to. OK, hey, congratulations. What an incredible achievement. For Sport Relief, John, with the team around him, of course, but John did, you know, what seemed almost like an impossible task, raised £4 million for Sport Relief. That is exceptional. And you were here on the show before you set off on that. You couldn't say much about it. But it does sound to me like the challenges they're trying to get people to do, they're getting crazy hard. I mean, they're going to kill someone if they're not careful.
Definitely, yeah.
Because that was... Talk us through it. What was the hardest part of that endurance?
I mean, it was a bike ride from Paris to the coast.
And that's how far is that? That's
185 miles.
It's a long ride.
It's a long ride in a day. So we finished that at 4 o'clock in the morning.
So you must have been... and I know you trained for it, but that's... You would never have done that sort of distance before in one stint.
No. I mean, yeah, I could ride the bike. I didn't start off with me dad running behind me, unstabilised, going, "Go on, son, don't look back, don't look back."
When I count to 3, I'm letting go.
And, so I did that, and that obviously took longer than they thought, and that meant that I only had an hour's sleep before getting in the boat the following day. There was 4 of us in a 6-man boat. There was Davina McCall, Denise Lewis, Freddie Flintoff and me.
So out of those 4, I imagine maybe Freddie was doing most of the work. Would that be right?
No, I tell you what, you'd be surprised. The girls were proper.
Really?
Proper, yeah. Davina and Denise were really... I was just there for the ride.
So you were just... And how was Freddie? How did he take to the water? Did he enjoy the experience?
Oh, hated it. We all hated it because we'd only had about an hour together in a rowing boat, and it took us 8.5 hours. And I don't know if anyone's ever rowed, but it's just boring. We're just rowing like that. After 2 hours of rowing, Freddie went, "No wonder people get a f***ing knighthood for this."
So you finished the boat journey, that part of it, and then when you get back here to the UK, what do you do next?
And then it was 3 consecutive runs that were each just over a marathon, so I think it was like 27 miles, 28 miles, and then 20, 28, 29 miles on the last day.
A hideous experience, then.
Yeah, I won't do it again. But then what happened, I hosted parts of Sport Relief, and so you're seeing people, and that was a couple of weeks later, and David Williams was the only one who came up to me and said, "How was your head?" Everyone else saying, "How was your body?" And he said, "How was your head?" Because he's been through something similar, and what happens, you don't realise how much of your head you offer to it, really, how much of the time that...
Just the focus,
the
I
months
guess,
going up to it, how much it occupies everything. It's a big thing to do, and then that hole just gets created because you don't want to do it yourself.
So did you treat yourself to a holiday afterwards? Did you have a break like that?
We did before, I've got the tour coming up, so we thought this August we'll have a proper family holiday.
Nice family break, OK. And how was that? How's that for you?
Yeah, you know what happens when you start getting a few quid. I said to me missus, "Look, we're going to have a proper holiday." I said, "They were 5-star. It's not self-catering, it's your holiday too." I said, "We're away." You have a break, love. We're on holiday. And I booked this resort in Sardinia, and we arrived there at night time, and the little Italian fella come on, and that's my version of Italian, by the way. And we're checking in, and he's looking at me, and he said, "You're not happy?" I said, "There's something not right about this." I said, "But I'll give you your due. We'll see it in the morning." He said, "It's a beautiful place. It's beautiful. You love this place. You love this place, and you love." I said, "Get your hands off me, missus, because you love this place, and we're doing all of this." And then he said, "You see in the morning. You have breakfast, you see. So we'll go down for breakfast." We booked this place because on the internet it had a fantastic beach. We come down for breakfast. I said, "Right, nice breakfast." I said, "Where's the beach?" He said, oh, you just walk down the steps, you come down here, you get on the train, it'll only take time. Whoa. I said, hang on. Hey, Pedro, what train? He said, the train. He said, not a public train. This is hotel train. This is hotel train, just for hotel guests. So my kids were going, come on, Dad, let's go and have a look. So we went and got on this train. Honestly, I put the picture on Twitter. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, they got the picture. I didn't...
Look at that. Look at that. We got on that to get to the beach, right? They put us on that. And I said to my kids were pissing themselves laughing at me getting on that. And I said, look, just get on it. It's obviously for fat Americans. We'll go 50 yards, get off at the other side. We got on that. We drove out the hotel. We went through the car park, out the hotel, on the main road. We're on the... We look like a load of competition winners on a day out. So we checked out 2 days later. And also, we did that, then we got to the beach, and the beach was packed, and then I got a mate who was in Mallorca. And you know when you got a mate and you're on holiday and yours is shit and theirs is brilliant. So you're going, oh, we're having a great time. So we went to Mallorca, which was lovely, to be fair.
When you finished your last tour, you said you were going to take a couple of years off to be with your family. But you're just starting a new tour now.
Yeah.
So what changed?
I went home. That's what changed. I just went home and did that thing that you do where you go, oh, look, I'll do the showbiz thing, we'll have time at home, it'll be lovely, and then after 2 weeks I sort of sat in the living room and my missus come in and go, you still here? I'm going, what are you doing? And the problem is, if you live the life like I've been living, where you're on tour and you're constantly touring, your family functions better when you're not in the house. It's better if you come and visit. And so, if you come and visit, everyone likes you, and you buy everyone presents, and then you piss off again, and everybody's happy. And so that's the way we've decided to live for the rest of our lives.
All right, here's the thing. John's just done, and you kind of know you've arrived when the BBC asked you to do Who Do You Think You Are? Yeah. They've asked you to do that show, and we said, OK, we want to talk about this, and obviously you can't give too much away. But we said to him, can you send a picture over from John from Who Do You Think You Are? And this is the picture they sent us. They actually sent us that picture of John Barnes. And I thought, wow, you really have found out a new side to yourself on this show.
I can't tell you, but you've got to watch the programme. That's not as far away from the truth as you might imagine.
So there's a link?
Oh, there is a link. I mean, it's not a distinct link like that. It was a brilliant thing to do. And they said to me, they ask a number of people, and then they do research, and there's certain problems. If you're from like Norfolk, they said if your family's from there, they don't really pursue it. And he said the reason being... no, this is true. They said the reason being because everyone was an agricultural worker, so they got what they needed. They got food off the land, they had a place to stay, and they all had sex in the family. And as a result of that, it's very difficult to get the family tree.
Imagine, but what a great show that would be.
What a fantastic show that would be.
I mean, just think about the amount of time they'd save on travel.
I know.
Just all in the one building.
I know. Wouldn't it be great if they got Jeremy Kyle and found out he was from Norfolk? It was... So anyway, so they got that, and then they said if you're Irish side because of records, so they did investigation, and then they came out and said we want to do the show, and it was humbling, and they went down different avenues where they said this will be on the show. They went down other avenues where they said just to let you know this is one of the things, but we're not putting it on the show for various reasons. And I found out something that I thought was just staggering. I found out that my great-granddad made such a contribution to his country's war effort that they actually named a plane after him, which is just it's humbling when you find stuff like that.
This is a genuine thing.
Yeah. I mean, we didn't know because we don't see the Messerschmitts very much these days, but...
You see, you had me there.
I love that.
There was a moment there I thought you were being really sincere.
You were in, and now there's people Google Messerschmitts.
People think, wow, he's German.
No, but there was all little avenues like that, and they were saying, look, we think this, but we can't substantiate it, so we can't put it in the show. And then when it goes out, apparently you get a box with everything in.